Namaskar. A warm welcome to World News and Indian Perspective on All India Radio. This is Abhineet Shukla, bringing glimpses of the major developments of the day from across the globe. Over the next half an hour, we shall bring to you the latest from the world of politics, economy, sports, entertainment and more. The headlines. The first G20 Energy Transition Working Group starts in Bengaluru, focus on a holistic approach to inclusive growth of green energy worldwide. India calls upon G20 partners for united fight against global warming and climate change. India Energy Week starts in Bengaluru on Monday. Prime Minister Narendra Modi to dedicate HAL helicopter factory to the nation in Tumkuru. Shanghai Cooperation Organization Supreme Auditors Institutions meeting in Lucknow on Monday. Focus on artificial intelligence, cybersecurity and digital technology. India delivers 50 more Ashok Leyland buses to Sri Lanka as a part of the package deal under its economic assistance scheme. And in SAF Under-20 Women's Football in Dhaka, match between India and Bangladesh ends in a nil draw. The first G20 Energy Transition Working Group meeting was inaugurated in Bengaluru on Sunday in the presence of Union Minister of Power and New and Renewable Energy R.K. Singh and Union Minister of Parliamentary Affairs, Coal and Mines Prahlad Joshi. In his keynote address, the Renewable Energy Minister R.K. Singh hoped that the 3 days deliberations in Bengaluru will look into energy access, energy security and energy transition in a holistic manner and find ways of inclusive growth of green energy in the world. Mr. Singh called upon the G20 member countries to join together in countering the challenges posed by global warming and climate change.
We have already reduced our emissions near about 30% and we aim to do that, reduce it further by another 15%, that is why up to 45% by 2030. So we remain one country, one major economy which is growing. We are growing at 7%. Our rate of growth today is 7% despite all the disruptions around the world.
The minister said the country also aims to achieve close to 50% cumulative electric power installed capacity from non-fossil fuel-based energy resources by 2030.
We are adhering to a low carbon growth because we are fully committed to a low carbon growth. We believe in the environment. As I said, 177 gigawatts of renewable energy capacity which we have installed. I have another 75,000 megawatts under installation. That makes it about 250,000 megawatts. We aim to have a renewable energy capacity, a non-fossil fuel capacity of 500 gigawatts by 2030.
In his special address, Union Minister for Parliamentary Affairs, Coal and Mines Prahlad Joshi underlined the need for international collaboration to achieve universal access to clean energy. He recalled Prime Minister Narendra Modi's announcement at the COP26 in Glasgow on Mission Life, that is, Lifestyle for Environment, as a mass movement for mindful and deliberate utilization instead of mindless and destructive consumption to protect and preserve the environment. Briefing the media persons in Bengaluru today at the end of the first day of meeting, the Union Power Secretary Alok Kumar said that the members today discussed 5 technological areas including high-efficient fuel cells, electrolysis, small modular reactors, carbon capture and storage. Presentations were made on low-cost financing for technology transition and fuels of the future like biofuel and green hydrogen. The Secretary said that India has already achieved the target of blending 10% ethanol in fuel. During the deliberations, India floated an alliance with Brazil and USA on biofuel. Prime Minister Narendra Modi will visit Karnataka tomorrow. He will inaugurate India Energy Week 2023 at Bengaluru. Mr. Modi will also lay the foundation stone of various development initiatives. The India Energy Week will be held from 6th to 8th of February. It is aimed to showcase India's rising prowess as an energy transition powerhouse. The event will bring together leaders from the traditional and non-traditional energy industry, governments and academia to discuss the challenges and opportunities that a responsible energy transition presents. It will see the presence of more than 30 ministers from across the world. Over 30,000 delegates, 1,000 exhibitors and 500 speakers will gather to discuss the challenges and opportunities of India's energy future. The Assam government will host Youth 20 Summit Inception meeting starting tomorrow in Guwahati to tap the views and ideas of young minds. More than 1,500, including 250 foreign and Indian delegates and 400 college students from Assam are participating in the Y20 Inception meeting at Guwahati. The Y20 will provide a forum for young people to express their views and ideas on G20 priorities on contemporary issues for a better tomorrow. In the run-up to the Y20 Inception meeting, discussions, debates, rallies, painting and quiz competitions were held at colleges and universities across the state on the Y20 identified themes. The Y20 themes are Future of Work, Industry 4.0, Innovation and 21st Century, Climate Change and Disaster Risk Reduction, Making Sustainability as a Way of Life, Peace Building and Reconciliation, Ushering in an Era of No War, Shared Future, Youth in Democracy and Governance, Health, Well-being and Sports, Agenda for the Youth. Started in 2012, the Y20 is a youth version of the G20 summits, and it is the only officially recognized platform for young people to engage with the G20. It is one of the most influential international diplomatic forums for young leaders. It is also one of 8 official engagement groups under the G20 umbrella. The G20 rotating presidency bears the responsibility of hosting the Youth Summit, which usually takes place some weeks prior to the traditional forum, to know what the youth are thinking and incorporate their suggestions in their own policy proposals. It is an attempt to create a connecting point between G20 governments and their local youth. The 3-day-long Y20 Inception meet will conclude on the 8th of February 2023.
As India has entered into the 3rd month of its G20 presidency in February, here's a sneak peek at the ongoing and upcoming G20 meetings scheduled this week. The first G20 Employment Working Group meeting concluded in Jodhpur on 4th Feb. Union Minister for Power and New and Renewable Energy, Mr. R.K. Singh, called upon the G20 member countries to join together in countering the challenges posed by global warming and climate change. Delivering the keynote address at the first Energy Transitions Working Group, ETWG, meeting in Bengaluru on Sunday, the minister said that India now stands committed to reducing the emissions intensity of GDP by 45% by 2030 from 2005 level. He added that the country also aims to achieve close to 50% cumulative electric power installed capacity from non-fossil fuel-based energy resources by 2030. Noting that India has been ranked amongst the top 5 performing countries in Climate Change Performance Index, Shri R.K. Singh informed that the country's per capita greenhouse gas emissions are far below the world average of 6.3 tons of carbon equivalent in 2020. The minister said that India will not compromise with the present availability of energy base and will explore all feasible sources to achieve energy security. The minister stressed on the need to expand the discourse of G20 Energy Transition Working Group. Briefing media persons in Bengaluru today at the end of the first day of meeting, the Union Power Secretary Alok Kumar said that the members today discussed 5 technological areas, including high-efficient fuel cells, electrolysis, small modular reactors, carbon capture and storage. Presentations were made on low-cost financing for technology transition and fuels of the future like biofuel and green hydrogen. The Secretary said that India has already achieved the target of blending 10% ethanol in fuel. During the deliberations, India floated an alliance with Brazil and USA on biofuel. The first Tourism Working Group TWG meeting is scheduled at Dhodo in Rann of Kutch in Gujarat from the 7th to the 9th of February as part of G20. Union Minister of Tourism G. Krishan Reddy, Union Minister of Fisheries, Animal Husbandry and Dairying Parshottam Rupala and Gujarat Chief Minister Bhupendra Patel will attend the inaugural session of the meeting on the 8th of February. The secretary-level meeting will focus on 5 priority areas including green tourism, digitalization, skills, tourism, MSMEs, and destination management. The Assam government is hosting Youth 20 Summit Inception meeting from Monday, 6th Feb in Guwahati to tap the views and ideas of young minds. More than 1,500, including 250 foreign and Indian delegates and 400 college students from Assam are participating in the Y20 Inception meeting at Guwahati. The summit will provide a platform for the youth to express their views and ideas on G20 priorities on contemporary issues for a better tomorrow. In the run-up to the Y20 Inception meeting, discussions, debates, rallies, painting and quiz competitions were held at colleges and universities across the state on the Y20 identified themes. The Y20 themes are Future of Work, Industry 4.0, Innovation and 21st Century, Climate Change and Disaster Risk Reduction, Making Sustainability as a Way of Life, Peace Building and Reconciliation, ushering in an era of no war, shared future, youth in democracy and governance, health, well-being and sports agenda for youth. The 3-day-long Y20 Inception Meet will conclude on the 8th of February 2023.
Out of this today's event, we are going to get a very, very important way out to meet the Sustainable Development Goals agenda and also the objective of the Paris Agreement.
There was a wonderful welcome, and now we've had a really, really good meeting. It's absolutely critical that we work on getting more finance towards solving the problem, so really important.
You know, the whole family, the whole G20 family needs to work together. We need to really scale up transition finance through many innovative approaches in order to de-risk the investment and crowd with more private capital to support climate finance.
The hospitality of Assam has been exceptional, I have to say. And the meeting is very, very well organized with a key focus area that we believe at the OECD will really help mobilizing sustainable finance.
Indian presidency organized everything in the smallest details. They didn't forget anything.
I really enjoyed tonight. It was really extraordinary with all these organizations. It was really surprising. We also been to these old houses. They introduced their culture and their way of dancing and the clothing. It was very interesting. I never seen so many diverse community living in together.
Hyderabad hosted the 2-day G20 Startup 20 Inception meeting from 28th to 29th January. About 180 delegates representing G20 countries and 9 special invitee countries, besides representatives of all stakeholders of the startup ecosystem, participated in the Inception meeting. The working group provided inputs to G20 leaders regarding issues relating to startups at the global level. Ahead of the summit meeting of Startup 20 scheduled in July at Gurugram, the working group will meet at Sikkim, Bengaluru and Andaman Nicobar for further deliberations.
One of the most beautiful platforms which connects an entrepreneur to an investor at the same time, conferences, events, talks. What better way of sharing knowledge?
The first Financial Structure Working Group 2-day meet under India's G20 presidency took place in Chandigarh on the 30th of January. As many as 93 delegates from 50 nations, including both representatives of G20 as well as guest countries and international organizations, attended the meeting of the International Financial Architecture Working Group, which concluded on the 31st of January. IFA co-chair William Roos, France, Byung-sik Jung from South Korea, Manisha Sinha, Additional Secretary, Union Finance Ministry, RBI advisor Mahua Rai were also present at the meeting.
It discusses issues related to international financial architecture and how to help the most vulnerable and poor countries in terms of their financing needs.
India, it's a very, very nice country. We are very good people. We are very peaceful people.
After we come here, we experienced the hospitality from India. I think that you have got well prepared for this G20 presidency.
I'm sure all the G20 meetings in India will be a success.
G20 की अपनी एक विश्वसनीयता है, साख है और पूर्व का जो विचार विमर्श होते रहे हैं, उनका लाभ दुनिया के कमजोर वर्गों को कैसे मिले और उनका ठीक प्रकार से क्रियान्वयन कैसे हो, इस दृष्टि से यह मंच निश्चित रूप से बहुत ही उपयोगी साबित हो।
ये बड़ी खुशी की बात है कि G20 की अध्यक्षता हमारे देश को मिला है। ये देशवासियों के लिए काफी गौरव की बात है।
After this meeting in Chandigarh, we will have this group, the same group, International Financial Architecture Working Group, will meet again in March, June and September in other places to take forward the discussion.
The G20 Science 20 Inception meeting was held in Puducherry on the 31st of January. Scientists from 10 G20 member nations, along with scientists from India's premier science institutions, participated in the deliberations. India Chair 2023 Professor Ashutosh Sharma delivered the keynote comment. The key points of the meeting included universal holistic health, clean energy, connecting science to culture and society, and disruptive science for inclusive and sustainable development.
Science and technology are going to play a vital role in furthering the aspirations of G20, which aims to bring nations together to solve global issues.
The first G20 Education Working Group meeting took place in Chennai from 1st to 2nd February. Detailed discussions on themes which will help the global community find long-term sustainable solutions to similar educational challenges being faced by member countries placed in different geographies took place. The meeting discussed in a detailed manner, namely areas for an inclusive, equitable, relevant and quality education and lifelong learning opportunities for all. This meeting was a prelude to the upcoming meeting scheduled from 15 to 17 March in Amritsar in Punjab. It was attended by the guest countries Bangladesh, Egypt, Mauritius, Netherlands, Nigeria, Oman, Singapore, Spain and the United Arab Emirates. Alongside the meeting, IIT Madras also hosted a seminar on the role of digital technology in education. 69 delegates from 19 countries participated in the day-long event, which also included other activities of scientific and historical importance.
Wonderful to continue to build those relationships in a more informal manner through beautiful sites such as this, and I'm very happy to be participating.
Today, as we walk through the historical sites, we see a lot of these things have survived the ages, and we hope that we too, in our work in education, can also leave such a lasting legacy for the future and for the many generations to come.
Today, I'm very excited to be here to visit this complex, to learn about India's rich history, so I can go back and share with my family and friends.
What I experienced was a remarkable environment. Countries willing together to define new standards for the future.
And it is very important because it gives us the opportunity to exchange ideas, exchange best practices, and have a face-to-face meeting with our colleagues from the G20 countries. And that is very valuable for us.
Thank you very much.
Thank you once again.
So thank you very much
for showing us a little part of your rich culture through site visits and cultural events. Thank you very much for everything.
And of course the warmth of the people of India, in Chennai in particular. We feel so welcome. Thank you once again. We really appreciate the hospitality. Thank you.
So for us it's a pleasure to be here in India and to be able to learn about your traditions, your culture that dates back to so many centuries.
2 days of intensive discussions of the first meeting of the G20 Sustainable Finance Working Group SFWG successfully concluded on Friday. The meeting was attended in person by 95 delegates from G20 member countries, 10 invitee countries and 14 international organizations like IMF, NGFS, World Bank, UNDP, UNEP, FI, ADB, NDB, FSB among others. Many other international organizations joined the meeting virtually. The co-chairs for SFWG are USA and China. The G20 Sustainable Finance Working Group SFWG in Guwahati discussed 3 priority areas: mechanismization of timely and adequate resources for climate finance, enabling finance for the Sustainable Development Goals, capacity building of the ecosystem for financing towards sustainable development. The meeting is a prelude to the first G20 Finance Ministers and Central Bank Governors FMCBG meeting under the Indian Presidency, which will be held on the 24th and 25th Feb 2023 in Bengaluru.
Out of today's event, we are going to get a very, very important way out to meet the Sustainable Development Goals agenda and also the objective of the Paris Agreement.
There was a wonderful welcome, and now we've had a really, really good meeting. It's absolutely critical that we work on getting more finance towards solving the problem, so really important.
the whole family, the whole G20 family needs to work together. We need to really scale up transition finance through many innovative approaches in order to de-risk the investment and crowd in more private capital to support climate finance.
The hospitality of Assam has been exceptional, I have to say. And the meeting is very, very well organized with a key focus area that we believe at the OECD will really help mobilizing sustainable finance.
The Indian presidency organized everything in the smallest details. They didn't forget anything.
I really enjoyed tonight. It was really extraordinary with all these organizations. It was really surprising. We also been to these old houses. They introduced their culture and their way of dancing and clothing. It was really interesting. I never seen so many diverse community living in together.
In Jodhpur on the 4th of February, the valedictory session was addressed by India as chair and Indonesia and Brazil as co-chair. A total of 11 sessions were organized in this 3-day event. These sessions mainly focused on bringing equality in the demand and supply of skills, gig and platform economy, and sustainable financing of the Social Security Scheme. Creating a common platform for the harmonization of skills across the world was also discussed in the meeting. This was the first meeting of this group, and the same agenda would be in focus in the subsequent meetings to be held in the upcoming months.
To say that the thing that has struck me most about the local culture is the sense of hospitality.
As the host country for this important event, India is honored to have the opportunity to lead the G20 in addressing the critical issue of employment that is so vital to the prosperity and well-being of all our nations and our people.
What I also get from discussions today that we have many different frameworks in many countries. It's quite complex, so I think we need a step-by-step approach to see what kind of lessons we can learn and also what kind of quick fix first solutions we can try out and then improve the system while we go along.
We do sit a lot in these meetings, and I think we have to stay sharp, and our minds have to stay focused. And if we can use, the well-being techniques that you have here in India to do that, then that's fantastic.
I had the opportunity to have this cultural event, attend this cultural event as part of the G20 hospitality team, and it was amazing. The choreography is amazing. The folklore is amazing.
G20 India 2023. One Earth, one family, one future.
The Controller and Auditor General of India, CAG, is hosting the 6th Shanghai Cooperation Organization SCO SAI Leaders Meeting in Lucknow beginning tomorrow. Out of the 8 SCO Supreme Audit Institutions, that is SAI member country delegations participating in the event, the heads of SAIs from 4 countries, Kazakhstan, Tajikistan, Kyrgyzstan and Uzbekistan, alongside the CAG of India, are expected to take part in the 3-day multilateral event. Controller and Auditor General of India, Girish Chandra Murmu, will lead the discussions on the theme Integrating Emerging Technologies in Audit. Governor of Uttar Pradesh, Anandiben Patel, will inaugurate the meeting. Our correspondent covering the event reports that the participating delegates are expected to hold discussions and share experiences on artificial intelligence and cyber security, as well as concerns of digital technology. India delivered 50 more buses to Sri Lanka at the Presidential Secretariat premises this morning as Sri Lanka celebrated its 75th Independence Day yesterday. High Commission of India Gopal Bagle handed over the buses to Sri Lanka's President Ranil Wickremesinghe. Commercial vehicle maker Ashok Leyland had backed the contract for supplying 500 buses to the Sri Lanka Transport Board, of which 75 buses have already been delivered to the island nation earlier this year. The order is part of a line of credit extended by the Export-Import Bank of India under the Economic Assistance Scheme of the Indian government. This is All India Radio giving you the world news. India's National Security Advisor Ajit Doval met with UK's National Security Advisor Tim Barrow in London yesterday. The United Kingdom's Prime Minister Rishi Sunak also joined the meeting as a special gesture. The High Commission of India said that Mr. Doval's visit to London has come right after he met his US counterpart Jake Sullivan in Washington on Tuesday. India and the United Kingdom share a comprehensive strategic partnership. China strongly protested over the US shooting down a Chinese surveillance balloon over the Atlantic Ocean after it traversed sensitive military sites across North America. The Chinese Foreign Ministry in a statement on Sunday said, China strongly disapproves and protests against the US attack on a civilian unmanned airship by force and warned of repercussions. Prime Minister Narendra Modi will dedicate to the nation a helicopter manufacturing plant of Hindustan Aeronautics Limited HAL in Tumkuru tomorrow. Raksha Mantri Rajnath Singh and senior officials of the Ministry of Defence will be present on the occasion. The Greenfield helicopter factory spread across 615 acres will manufacture the light utility helicopters. Former Pakistan President Pervez Musharraf passed away in Dubai today following a prolonged illness. He was 79. Musharraf had been undergoing treatment for an ailment at an American hospital in Dubai. In SAF Under-20 Women's Football Championship, the match between India and Bangladesh ended in a draw in Dhaka. Both the teams played well but could not score a single goal. Now India will face Nepal on the 7th of February. Australia's injury concerns continue to mount ahead of the first test match against India, with key pacer Josh Hazlewood ruled out of the opening match in Nagpur. Hazlewood had sustained the injury on his left leg after bowling in the rain-affected Sydney Test against South Africa last month. Australia already loses Mitchell Starc, who was ruled out of the series opener due to injury. The first test match between India and Australia will begin on the 9th of February. Now let us take a look at the major developments around the world as reported in the foreign press. The Globe and Mail reports Zelensky strips citizenship of several former politicians, citing pro-Russian influences. The Washington Post writes, China blames US politics for overreaction to suspected spy balloon. The Straits Times reports 16 killed, dozens injured in China highway pileup. The Financial Times reports EU agrees on price caps on Russian oil products. The Japan Times reports Iran's supreme leader pardons a large number of security-related prisoners linked to protests. South China Morning Post says Greek Cypriots vote for a new president in close contest as passport scandal dominates the debate. A quick look at the headlines once again. The first G20 Energy Transition Working Group starts in Bengaluru. Focus on a holistic approach to inclusive growth of green energy worldwide. India calls upon G20 partners for united fight against global warming and climate change. India Energy Week starts in Bengaluru on Monday. Prime Minister Narendra Modi to dedicate HAL helicopter factory to the nation in Tumkuru. Shanghai Cooperation Organization Supreme Auditors Institutions meeting in Lucknow on Monday. Focus on artificial intelligence, cyber security and digital technology. India delivers 50 more Ashok Leyland buses to Sri Lanka as a part of the package deal under its Economic Assistance Scheme. And in SAF Under-20 Women's Football in Dhaka, match between India and Bangladesh ends in a nil draw. And now, before we end, let us listen to Mahatma Gandhi's favorite bhajan Vaishnav Jan by artists from Bulgaria.
You're
And with that, we end this bulletin. We'll be back at the same time tomorrow with the next edition of World News.